Tuesday, the 15th of December 2020, and I'm now going to conduct a ghost box session with the intention of attempting to communicate with the spirit of the missing woman, Madison Scott.
The road is called Highway 16. It stretches across northern British Columbia and is part of the Trans-Canada Highway system.
Meantime, people living in the area are shocked to have something like this happen. Alex Love traveled down Highway 16.
At first, it looks peaceful, surrounded by forests, mountains, and long stretches of empty land. But behind its beauty hides a dark history. Locals call it the Highway of Tears. The name comes from the many young women and girls who have vanished or been murdered along this road over the last 4 decades. For families living nearby, the highway is not just a road, it is a place of fear and heartbreak. Some stretches of Highway 16 are so remote that you will see more bears than cars. If a vehicle breaks down or someone is left alone, help is far away. Many victims were last seen hitchhiking, hoping for a ride to town or back home. For some, that ride became their last. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police report at least 18 victims connected to this road. But local communities say the true number is much higher, possibly 33, 43, or even more. Many of these cases remain unsolved. Families still wait for answers, and each missing person adds another shadow to the highway's story. Highway 16 is beautiful but dangerous. It is a place where evil has found opportunity, leaving behind decades of sorrow and an endless search for justice. Vanished women. For decades, women and girls have vanished along Highway 16, leaving families with questions that never seem to end. The disappearances often begin the same way. Someone is last seen walking by the road, sometimes sticking out a thumb, hoping for a ride. In small towns where buses and safe travel options are rare, hitchhiking became common, even if it was dangerous. But for too many young women, it was the last choice they ever made. Police files describe the same heartbreaking scenes again and again. A girl packs a bag for the weekend, a student leaves school, or a daughter heads out to meet friends. Then she is never seen again. Days later, families drive the highway searching, praying for signs, while officers comb through thick forests, rivers, and endless logging roads. The number of victims depends on who you ask. The RCMP officially lists 18, but locals are certain the count is far higher. Many believe dozens of young women have disappeared, their stories lost in the silence of the wilderness. Some cases are tied to known killers, others remain mysteries with no clear suspect. Every missing face becomes a poster, a photograph taped to a pole, or a name spoken at vigils. For the communities living along Highway 16, the pain does not fade. The vanished women are not forgotten. They remain a constant reminder of the danger and sorrow that haunts the Highway of Tears. Maddie Scott Mystery. Madison Maddie Scott was just 20 years old when she vanished. On May 28, 2011, she went camping at Hogsback Lake, only a short drive from her home in Vanderhoof, British Columbia. She had gone with friends to celebrate a birthday. But by the next morning, Maddie was gone, and her life became another mystery linked to the Highway of Tears. When her parents, Dawn and Eldon, drove to the lake, they found her pickup truck still parked there. Inside were her purse and backpack, things she never left behind. Her phone was missing, but the tent was in disarray, with her jewelry scattered on the ground. It was a scene that filled her family with dread. The RCMP launched a massive search, using helicopters, boats, and ground teams. More than 170 officers combed the area, but there was no trace of Maddie. Friends described her as full of energy, a competitor who loved sports, dirt biking, and the outdoors. She was thoughtful, caring, and always ready to laugh. Losing her left a hole in the community. Rumors spread, suspects were questioned, and theories grew. Some believed Maddie had been targeted because she was left alone after others left the party. Others thought her case might be tied to the long history of disappearances along Highway 16. To this day, her parents return to the lake, holding on to hope that Maddie will come home, and that the mystery will finally end. Families in pain. For every woman who disappears along Highway 16, there is a family left broken. Parents, siblings, and friends live in constant pain, trapped between hope and despair. Dawn and Eldon Scott, Maddie's parents, return again and again to Hogsback Lake, the place where their daughter was last seen. Standing by her empty campsite, they relive the moment they discovered her truck with her belongings locked inside, but no sign of her. For them, the silence of the forest is a cruel reminder. Other families share the same heartbreak. Doug Leslie lost his 15-year-old daughter, Lauren, in 2010. Years later, hunters found Ramona's remains in the woods. Matilda visits the site, placing flowers under the same tree where her daughter's body was left. For her, the pain never softens. These families live with unanswered questions and an unending ache. For them, Highway 16 is not just a road, it is a graveyard of memories and a symbol of promises unkept. Their tears, Their voices and their courage keep the victims alive in memory, even as justice remains far away. Cold cases opened. The Highway of Tears is filled with unsolved cases, some stretching back more than 40 years. Police files stack up in boxes, each holding the story of a young woman who never came home. Investigators describe them as the toughest cases imaginable: mothers, daughters, and sisters last seen hitchhiking, only to vanish into the vast wilderness. For decades, many of these files have gathered dust, waiting for a breakthrough. In recent years, advances in DNA testing have given hope. One major breakthrough came in the case of 16-year-old Colleen McMillan, who disappeared in 1974. For years, her family lived with silence. Then, in 2012, new DNA technology linked her murder to an American drifter named Bobby Jack Fowler. He had already died in prison, but the discovery finally gave her family an answer, after nearly 4 decades of waiting. Police believe Fowler may have been responsible for several other murders along the highway, but many cases remain cold. Thousands of interviews have been conducted, with more than 400 persons of interest investigated. Yet the list of missing and murdered women continues to weigh heavy. Each solved case offers families a small measure of peace, but the open files remind everyone that many killers still walk free. For investigators, the challenge is enormous, but the mission is clear: to bring justice to the lost women of Highway 16. Dark beauty of Highway 16. Highway 16 winds through some of the most stunning landscapes in Canada. Towering mountains, deep forests, and clear lakes surround the road, making it a breathtaking journey for anyone passing through. On a bright summer day, it looks like a place of peace, a place where nature shows its best side. But beneath that beauty lies a dark truth. For many families, this same road is not a place of wonder. It is where their daughters disappeared. Investigators who patrol the highway call it both a killing ground and a dumping ground. The wilderness is so vast that evidence can vanish within hours. Rivers wash things away, dense trees hide secrets, and long logging roads stretch endlessly into nowhere. Searching for a single person here can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Warning signs now line the road, urging women not to hitchhike. Yet the dangers remain, especially for those in small towns who often have no choice but to travel by foot or thumb. Every sign posted is a reminder of someone lost, every memorial by the roadside another reminder of grief. The Highway of Tears is a place of terrible contrast. Its beauty can make travelers stop in awe, but for locals it carries a heavy weight. The landscape tells two stories at once: one of nature's glory, and one of human cruelty. That haunting mix is why Highway 16 is remembered as a road of dark beauty, and recognition that these women were targeted because they were vulnerable. Their activism has brought national attention to the highway and forced officials to confront a painful truth. The fight for justice continues, driven by love and loss. For every missing girl, for every unsolved case, families and communities will not stop until the Highway of Tears gives up all its secrets. Their courage ensures the victims are never forgotten, and their search keeps the hope for justice alive.